Good afternoon, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me at Friday at 4 podcast series.
Well, it's 4 o'clock somewhere.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. So thanks for coming on. Saw it with such short notice, and I'm glad you're able to do it. Filling in for Steve, who's got some things he's got to take care of this week. And let's
Yeah.
go ahead and get started. And what do you got for us?
Well, this week I am thinking a lot about collaborations, and specifically bundles, like working on bundles with other business owners, because that's something I've been getting into a little bit with my marketing efforts. So, yeah, that's on top of mind.
Let's dive in that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. I've fallen in with a few groups online that do a lot of collaboration with each other. They kind of trade collaboration opportunities with each other. Like maybe somebody needs a podcast guest, or somebody else is gearing up to host a summit, like a virtual summit online. And so they're looking for particular types of speakers on particular topics. Or somebody else is doing a virtual bundle where everybody gets together and they all share, they kind of pool a bunch of materials that match certain criteria for a certain audience type. And they're like, okay, I'm looking for, you know, ebooks and PDF downloads for, uh, women, moms aged 35 to 45, moms of you know, of homeschooling, moms who homeschool, who are interested in, meal planning. And it'll be like everybody will kind of write in if they're interested in participating. And then that way you all get to kind of share each other's audiences, and you get introduced to different kinds of groups that might potentially be interested in downloading your item. So it's a really great way to grow your list quickly if you're interested in growing an email list. And if you have a little upsell of some kind on your offer page, even if the item itself is free, you could still, maybe get somebody interested in buying like a little upsell, which could potentially, make you a little money at the same time that you're growing your list.
Very
So
cool.
I'm participating in my very first one this week, which launched 2 days ago. And I have more than doubled my email list in that amount of time. So I know
That is
it
amazing.
far, far exceeds any hopes I had for this has been an experiment for me, right? I
Mhm.
mean, you know how we try things out and we don't know what's going to work. And this has so far worked really well. Now, not all these people will stay on my email list because they signed up to get something free. And then they may stay around for a while and then be like, I don't like this girl. I don't think I'm going to stick around. Or she doesn't match what I am,
That happens,
but
right?
some
I
of them
mean,
may. It does. Yeah, it
that
happens.
happens. Yeah, I mean, people don't like us. People don't gel with certain people, and they're not our audience, right?
Yeah,
And
you
that's all
want
about
you want a
marketing. Yeah,
quality list, not a quantity
yeah,
list. But my list
yeah.
was extremely small, as you know. I mean, I think when we first started talking, my list was like 30 people or
Mhm.
something. And my list right now today is sitting at like 125 people,
That's
which is a
amazing.
huge amount of growth. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
congratulations.
pretty excited. Yeah, so this is
Yeah,
one experiment that seems to be paying off. So
yeah,
collaboration for the win, Chuck. I know you and I
yeah,
like to collaborate, so it's nice to see another mode of it working out.
yeah. I wanted to plug real fast to say, I want to commend you and Steve both for being there, for my testers and hey, bouncing ideas off each other. And you guys have been instrumental in my growth. And as we talked about, I had a little bit of problems with my database over the past week, and I got some of it worked out, but still got the one little bug that's there. But I'll figure it out. But I want to
You
thank
will.
you for just listening and being there to really support and
Yeah.
help me with my growth. I appreciate that.
Well, same to you. I mean, you're there for me too. I mean, I don't know if your audience does this, but we definitely trade texts back and forth during the week or over the course of a month to be like, hey, would you look at this real quick? Or hey, I'm not sure how this sounds. Would you check it out and let me know which one you like better? And it's just really nice to have somebody, that's because as a small business owner, you're often working with just one person yourself. So it's nice to
Solopreneur,
have a
right?
network of colleagues that sort of also think about marketing and stuff like that. And you can just, ask their opinions or something. It makes
Yeah,
it
it's
makes it more
great.
fun during the week. Yeah.
And I think too, it takes the stress down a notch, you know, because you're
Hmm.
stressed about problems and trying to figure things out. And it really helps that you're not so stressed about, oh my God, what do I do with this? Let me bounce it off of Rachel. Let me
Yeah.
bounce off of Steve and see what they have, see what they can come up with,
Yeah.
It works.
It does. And it normalizes that experience of we try a lot of things out and they don't all work.
Well, let's scrap that and start over, right? I've been
Yeah,
there.
it kind of just makes it more normal to talk to other people that they're going through the same journey. I don't know. There's something magical about that to me anyway, that makes it really nice. So yeah,
Yeah.
right back at you. It's been
Yeah,
great.
and not to steal your thunder, but for a couple of minutes, I just want, what's great about that database issue was it made me realize that I did not have control over my data at all,
Ooh, yeah,
right?
that's a big one, right?
Huge. So I got all this data that I'm collecting and I don't have full control. And it made me realize that there were 5 steps from when somebody enters that data to it gets to my website. And I looked at
Yeah,
it like that to me, that's a problem. It can break anywhere, which it did. It broke in
right.
that
Yeah.
process. And then now what I'm working on is it's one step. You fill out the information, it goes right to the table, and it's right on my website. So it's easy.
Well, and now
Yeah.
that's a priority to you, the fact that it'll be one step and that you own the data. But was that a primary consideration for you when you started out? And I'm just curious, like, because I feel like a lot of times when we start, we have a primary consideration that's more like that part needs to be easy because I'm concentrating on these 50 other things or something.
That is so true. That database was built by somebody else that I hired,
Hmm.
and they quickly built it within 2 days. It was up complete. I had nothing to do with it. All I
Right,
did
right,
was I viewed it, I looked at it. Hey, it's great, it works. I'm good.
right.
I had
And you didn't
no
have to think
idea.
about that at all, which
You
was
got it.
that's what you needed at that
Yeah.
point because you were
Yeah.
juggling 85,000 other things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
point you brought up that. I'm glad you said that because that's
Well,
it
I think
really
we have to
it's
be
important.
kind to ourselves when we look back at our past decisions sometimes and go, you know what? I was making the best decision I could at that point in time based on the whole picture.
Yeah, we're like you said, we're juggling 80,000 different things. That was one less thing I had to focus on at the time. Because at that time my primary priority was getting these podcasts in and posted and
That's right.
that was my focus. So
It
the
had to be
reviews
your
were
focus.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the reviews were a little bit of a back step because that's part of the story that I have. And it was
Hmm.
not that
Hmm.
top priority. And I'm glad this broke the way it did because it really woke me up to say, wow, I didn't have control over this database at all. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged thing, right? It's like you scramble for a minute, but you're like, I'd rather scramble now than later when it's a lot bigger and more embedded and everything.
Yes.
Um,
Well, let me tell
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you. This is the first time in all of my businesses, everything I've done in my entire life, this is the first time that I've lost 2 nights sleep over it. I did not sleep for 2 nights.
You didn't? Oh, I'm so
Uh,
sorry. That's terrible.
when you're talking customer data, my data, and I'm not in control
Hmm.
of it, that's a huge deal for me, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that really put in perspective that, whoa, I need to do something with this. And it was
Yeah.
scary, you know, it was scary. But
Has
now
it
I'm good.
Has it prompted you to review anything else about the way that you have things set up? And when you look at that, do you feel like everything else is cool and it's just this one thing? Um,
good point you brought up. That was the only thing that I was not in control of. I am in control of everything else, my social media, my
That's
website.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
that was the
fantastic.
only thing. And like I said, when we were talked about it, I was, bouncing this off you, and this problem
Yeah.
really struck me. And this is saying, I did not own this data. Somebody else,
Yeah.
they had this, and I'm glad it broke and I completely removed it from my site. That data has been
That's
downgraded, it's downloaded. So yeah, so I'm good.
I love the way that you look on the positives of experiences and you don't just go, oh, the sky's falling, everything's terrible. Like, I really appreciate that about your perspective because I think it's a little similar to mine. Um, it's interesting that you say that about not owning things and then social media, because that's something that as I hang out with more people that are doing a lot of online marketing, they're always like, because when I started out, I didn't think I was going to do an email list or email marketing. I thought I would just avoid that altogether. And then so many people kind of preached to me about how you own your email list, but these social media platforms, you are in charge of what's on there. They can just kick you off at any time. So you really
Crazy.
need to grow an email list. And that was kind of a revelation to me. I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. And
And
it's been comforting, to have
one
that.
more plug for you, Rachel, is I really appreciate that because that text you sent me, you helped me woosah. You helped me
Oh,
get in the
yeah.
zone because I was stressed. And you used
Yeah.
your coaching to say, hey, look, man, it's going to be okay. You're going to figure it out. It's going to work out,
Oh,
And I
that's
appreciate that
nice.
because
Thanks.
it was a very challenging week, because
It's
when you have
hard.
customer data, that it's scary, because I something I never thought about was that data could get into the hands of somebody else and it's
Well,
not
yeah, of
secure,
course.
you
You're
know.
trying to protect not just your own business, but all of your customers' businesses. I mean, they're
Yeah.
trusting you with that. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you were able to resolve that. And
Yeah.
hopefully you're getting some good sleep now. Or is this the first night that you'll be able to sleep?
Last night was a night where I
Last
slept
night. No wonder
because
you look so well rested.
yeah, because after we tested it yesterday, it was you, my daughter, Steve. We all tested it.
Yeah.
Nobody, it's all read only. Nobody can edit it. Nobody can touch it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my table in there now. I slept. I slept good.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah. So swinging
Fantastic.
back to you again, let's get back to
Oh,
these
yeah.
bundles and this email list. I don't want to lose track of what we're here for,
Oh, no, no,
'cause,
no, not at all.
you
It's a
know,
free range conversation. Hey.
yeah, yeah. I'm really interested now. I'm interested in, this email list, these bundles, what you're working on, because I think
Yeah.
that's something I've never worked on either. I've never really put together an email list. I never thought about it.
Well, I feel like the what I see from other people's experiences is that it takes initially you kind of get everyone you know directly, right, onto your list and you scrape together however many that is, like 20, 30, 50 people. And then it takes you a while to get to like your next 10 or 20. That takes a little while. And then it takes forever to get to the next, whatever your next milestone is. And that's been my experience. Because then you have to figure out how like, what is your personal mechanism for growing your list? And I
Yeah.
feel like it's only now that I figured that out. I think that's one reason I'm so excited about the bundle thing is I'm like, this is going to work for me. All these other things I've been trying, they didn't work so well for me, but this will work. Um, so yeah. And you know what else is interesting? As you know, I am a kind of an ADHD friendly career coach and I've been looking for bundles that are themed around career change and stuff like that and I really didn't find any. So I've decided to host my own like collection of free resources for that are themed around career change. We'll see how many people I get to participate in it. But if I get enough takers, I'll launch that early December. And so
Yeah.
that will go out and we'll get a bunch of, you know, people to people to get free stuff because, the other thing is I feel like and I'm sure we all feel this toward the end of the year. We all have stuff we wanted to accomplish this year. And then, it starts to get closer to December and we're like, man, I didn't do the stuff I wanted to do this year. And you're
Yeah.
looking at the calendar countdown and you're like, I failed again. So I want to
Yeah.
give all these potential career changers a chance to make a start, at least a significant start on their career change goals, whatever they happen to be. So
Yeah.
that's another reason I really wanted to get this bundle out this year, because you may not have money to do it, but you have will, and maybe
Yes.
some time.
Yeah, I agree, right? And that's the beauty of what we do, right? We try to push ourselves beyond that limit. We want to get things rolled out. We want to hurry up and kind of push things by the end of the year. We set these
Yeah,
unexpectation, these unrealistic goals for ourselves, and these
yeah,
expectations we set on ourselves are sometimes really high. And I did it to myself, right? I set these really high expectations, these outrageous goals that I really try to hit, and I don't get depressed or mad or hurt that I don't hit them. I look at what already that I did accomplish and say,
right,
well, it's
right.
good enough, right? Step by step, right? Baby steps to get you to that bigger goal. And I'm proud to
Yeah,
say that with your help, Steve's help, especially my daughter Gabby's help, I
yeah.
have made every goal that I wanted to hit by the end of this year except for one.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
right?
Wow. That is
Every
so
goal except
cool.
one. Yep.
Rock on. That's
Yeah. And that
amazing.
and again, right? That goal was it's still it's not out of the picture yet. It's a tough
Hmm.
goal to get. And it's a
Yeah,
huge one. It's a real big step for me. But if
yeah,
I make this goal happen, I'm still pushing to get it by the end of the year. The year's not over yet, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And if I
Same.
get this, it's going to make what I've been working on, what I've been sharing with you in my videos and in my series that I've been working on. I haven't really
Yeah.
shared much about it. That we get that together, that's going to be part of that. And I am so excited. I cannot wait. I'm almost finished to really push this and release it. I can't wait to finish it and get it out there. I'm really excited. This is going
That's
to be good. My
awesome.
daughter's been working on it hard with me, and I'm really excited.
That is really great.
Yeah,
Yeah. And well done. I mean, it is hard to keep the big goals, what they call the big rock goals in mind as you
yeah,
go throughout the year, because there are so many other things that compete for our attention.
yeah. And that's why I feel bad a lot of times when I reach out to you and see you. You guys are just as busy as I am,
No, no,
and
don't. It's not like
yeah,
you're asking me to go on some crazy side quest that takes, 6 months.
6 months to a year to do.
Yeah.
But that may be part of, what I'm working on. You never know. I might be knocking on your door one day and be like, "Hey, we're
Yeah.
here. Let's get this
Hey,
done."
hey.
So I'm
That could
working on it,
happen.
and this is, like I said, it's a huge, huge undertaking. It's been a year and a half and really pushing the past almost 2 months of working on it, but it's paying off.
Hmm.
The hard work's
Yeah.
paying off, and I'm really excited. I can't wait to really talk about this and get it out there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm giddy. I'm
Yeah, you're like
excited.
a kid at Christmas.
I'm like a kid at Christmas. I can't wait. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and I'm getting really good feedback about it. The few people who I shared it with, they're liking it. So
That
we'll
is
see.
great. That is
Yeah.
great. And now, are you thinking ahead to next year at all, or are you still focused on getting your goals accomplished for this year? I guess it's not
So
it's not even November yet, is it? And I'm already like thinking about December.
yeah,
Terrible.
that's a great point that you bring up because do we focus now for next year, right? Should we be looking at next year's
Yeah,
goals
right?
the
Yeah.
last quarter, right? So we're in October, it's the last quarter. And my answer to that question would be yes and no. Yes, because if I can get this giant goal finished by the end of this year, that
Hmm.
will drive me into my everything I need to do for next year.
Yeah.
And that this one big goal can really make me go big. And that is what
Hmm.
this is the big one. If I can get this big goal
Yeah.
accomplished, then it's going to be next year will be
Well, if
gonna hit the
anybody could
ground
do
running.
it, it's you. I'm
Yeah,
I'm excited to see. It's gonna
yeah,
be
I'm
cool.
working on it. So what about you? Have you got your goals for next year? Or are you thinking?
I don't yet. I'm still,
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit like you. There are still some things that I'm sort of scrambling to see if I can finish them in the last quarter. And there are a few things I'm trying still that I haven't tried before. Uh, a lot of them in the last quarter. And maybe that just says something about how much experimentation I've done this year. I mean, as you know, this has been my first year to have my business and to have any business. So uh, it's been a big year of experimenting and trying things out. Um,
Well, let me tell you, give yourself a big pat on the back because you have done some big things this year. And the little time I've been talking to you that I know you, what you've bounced off of me, that you've made some good accomplishments there. So kudos to you.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Um, well,
Yeah, that's good.
it's been quite a year, and I wasn't sure how I would like being a business owner, but man, I love it. I just
Yeah.
absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to next year, but I also want to
Yeah.
see how much I can get done this quarter before I
Yeah.
commit to any goals for next year.
Yeah. You
So
know what
yeah.
drove me? Let me tell you what drove me. This statement just changed everything for me. It was a couple of weeks ago when we
Mm,
were driving, getting ready to do some filming, and
yeah.
my daughter said to me, Dad, I really like this. I want to do this with you. That just,
Oh,
oof, that hit me, man,
that's
right in the heart,
fabulous. I love
right?
that.
And I just, that was like that right there drove me. And it's like, I need to keep going. This is something that this is where I need to be. You know, I
Yeah.
have help. I have help. I'm not alone.
You're not. No.
Yeah.
You're kind of building a whole team around you, you know?
Yeah. I did that the first time. I started by myself when I was doing mystery shopping, just strictly
Yeah.
mystery shopping. That's how I did it the first time. I had a web developer, and then I had a database, and then I built somebody to help me with sales. And then before you know it, I had clients all over the country. I couldn't believe it. It took me 5 years
Wow.
to do it, but because I didn't know what I was doing, I had no idea what I was doing. But
Yeah.
with that 5 years, it was amazing. It was amazing, you know.
Yeah.
But to lose it all and to start over, here I am. Can't stop
I
me.
mean, you did it before, you can do it again, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And better this time since you
yeah,
learned from all those mistakes that you made last time and you won't have to make those specific mistakes again.
yeah.
You can make different, better mistakes this time.
Yes, and I like that because I'm telling you, what I learned the first time absolutely helped me this time around. It kind of made the process go faster. So I'm not
Hmm.
5 years out. I'm only what? This is like I'll be 2 years coming up soon, and I've
Oh,
accomplished a
wow.
lot in two
Happy
years. Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm over 100 episodes now, so I'm getting there. I've got some accomplishments.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
you better build in some celebrations for yourself. I feel like
yeah,
that's something we forget to do, you know, we don't like celebrate the big milestones
yeah,
and because we're too focused on the next thing
yeah,
and we should celebrate. Like that's one thing I do when I try to do this coming year a better job of is celebrate the accomplishments along the way
yeah.
and hopefully
I
I'll
like that.
figure out how to
Yeah.
do that.
That's something I don't do. And I don't know if I talked to you about this or not, but I actually secured a first sponsor for my business.
You did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
I'll
That's
I'll talk
awesome.
about it. I don't want to talk about it on this episode, but I'll talk about it with you off air. And then
Yeah, yeah.
once
I'm
things get
excited for
going, then I
you.
can plug them and start shouting them out. But yeah,
That's
I
phenomenal.
I was excited. I'm like, this is great. I have a sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Another
I'm
goal
not
I accomplished.
surprised. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. And I think it's going to be the first of many for you because I think what you're doing is going to draw attention and it's going to attract other sponsors.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's the
Yeah.
goal. It's not that I'm doing this because I want free stuff. I'm doing this because I want to help businesses.
Yeah,
It's been my main
exactly.
thing from the beginning. You know,
I think that's what people respond to is how authentic you are, how
yeah,
genuinely you care about what they're doing.
yeah,
And how much you want success for them, you know? I think
yeah,
that kind of care and authenticity, it's unfortunately very rare. And I
Yeah.
think people are just going to be very drawn to it. I mean, I think
Yes.
they already are. I think they'll continue to be as word gets out about you.
And I hope this episode and episodes going forward that you get involved in with me and Steve, I hope people can
Yeah.
see that as well, that you guys are the real deal, you know, you with your coaching, Steve with his financials. I think what we're doing is it's awesome because, you know, we have good stuff to give people, you know, we're
Yeah.
smart, you know, we know what we're doing. That's why we're doing what we're doing because we want to make people's lives better and easier, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love getting to meet the people along the way that I get to meet too, because I met you when I was doing my big podcast tour a few months back. That's how we ended up meeting the first time around. And ever
Yeah.
since, we've had this really great, I don't know, collaborative rapport, which is cool. And you and Steven, I still need to do like a podcast with all three of us sometime. We'll have to get together for that in the
Yeah,
future.
we'll make that
But
happen. Yeah, we can
yeah,
do another Friday at 4, you know, we can just, you guys can come
yeah,
on in because that's what I want this to be
absolutely.
about. I don't want it to be just me and a guest. I want other people to come in as well, you know, 3, 4, 5 people, and eventually get this to a little mini mastermind group where people come in and just bounce
Yeah,
ideas off each other, share, you know? So,
yeah, that would be fun. We'll have to do it sometime.
yep. And if you have anybody that wants to come on and be a guest, and then to my audience, anybody wants to come on and be a guest, you know, go to my website, qacteam.com, and fill out the form and just reach out to me or reach out to Rachel or Steve. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I recommend
Yeah.
this experience. It's always fun.
And I gotta say, I'm so glad that the Spotify thing happened that pushed me into Zoom because I'm loving this new format. This is so me. I love what I'm doing, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that I'm doing what I'm doing, you know.
that's
Keep doing good
awesome.
things, Rachel. I love it.
Same to you, Chuck, and I hope that you continue to get a good night's sleep and that
Thank
you
you
have a
so
great
much.
rest of your week. I'm pulling for you on that database
Yeah, I think
solution.
we're
I
going
know
to
you're
be
going to get
good.
it worked out.
I think we're going to be good. This weekend is going to be good. I'm going to get some rest and I'm going to take that burden off my shoulders because at least I know now that it's taken care of, right? You
That's
know,
right, exactly.
yeah, it's good. It's good. So, all right, Rachel, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for coming on, and
Yeah,
we will
thanks for
catch up
having
soon.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
will.
It's been a
Bye.
pleasure. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.